Hello and welcome to my channel. So in today's video we'll be talking about simultaneous equation and we are going to solve it graphically. So we have the equation on the screen. The first one says 3x plus 2y equals to 4 and the second one is 5x plus y equals to 1. So using the graphical method, the first thing we are going to do is to bring out the first equation, which I'm going to do now. So we have our equation 1. The next thing we have to do is to pick random values for x. So from those values, we get the equivalent values for y. So here you have all the options. You can pick any values for x. So I'm going to use x equals to minus 2, then x equals to 0, and x equals to 2. Okay. So what we want to do now is to get the equivalent values for y. So from the first one, we have 3x plus 2y equals to 4. So when x equals to minus 2. So when x equals to minus 2, what's the value of our y? So we substitute this value into the equation. So we have 3x plus 2y equals to 4. Then 3 bracket minus 2 plus 2y, equals to 4. So we have minus 6 plus 2y equals to 4. Then we have 2y equals to 4 plus 6. So 2y equals to 10. Then y equals to 5. Okay, divide both sides by 2, so y equals to 5. So that's the first value. We move on to the next one. Same thing, 3x plus 2y equals to 4. Now when x equals to 0, okay, remember we picked 3 values for our x. The first one is when x equals to minus 2. Then the next one now is when x equals to 0. Okay, so we substitute this value into the equation. So we have 3 bracket 0 plus 2y equals to 4. So this is 0. So we have 2y equals to 4. So y equals to 2. Okay. The next one, 3x plus 2y equals to 4. When x equals to, now when x equals to 2. So we have 3x plus 2y equals to 4. 2 bracket 2 plus 2y equals to 4. So we have 6 plus 2y equals to 4. So we have 2y equals to 4 minus 6. So we have 2y equals to minus 2. I'm sorry, minus 2. So we have y equals to minus 1. So divide both sides by 2. Y equals to minus 1. So from everything we've done, we have this table. So this table is just a summary of what we've done. So when x equals to minus 2, we have our y to be equals to 5. Okay. When x equals to 0, y equals to 2. Okay. So here we have 2. Then the last one. So when x equals to 2, y equals to minus 1. So we put the value here. So we move on to the second equation. So for the second equation, we are still going to do the same thing we did in the first equation. So we still pick values for y. Okay. So I'm still going to stick to the first thing I did. So I say y equals to minus 2, 0, and 2. So let's start with the first one. When y equals to minus 2, so we have 5x plus y equals to 1. So we substitute minus 2. Okay, so we have 5 bracket minus 2 plus y equals to 1. So we have minus 10 plus y equals to 1. So we have y equals to 10 plus 1. So y equals to 11. The next one, we have 5x plus y equals to 1. So we substitute x equals to 0. So we have 5. Oh, sorry. So we have 5 bracket 0 plus y equals to 1. So we have 0 plus y equals to 1. So y equals to 1. Then the last one, we have 5x plus y equals to 1. So we have 5 bracket 2 plus y equals to 1. So we have 10 plus y equals to 1. Then we have 10 y. We have y equals to minus 10 plus 1. So y equals to minus 9. So we do the same thing. We draw the table for equation 2. And lastly, when x equals to 2, okay, we got y to be minus 9. Okay. So like I said earlier on, here you have the choice to pick any number for your x. Okay, pick any number for your x. Sorry, I made a mistake here. This should be x. Pick value for x. So you have the choice to pick any value for your x. If you like, you can say when x equals to 10, 10, 12, 17. Okay, but it's always good to pick small numbers. Okay, numbers you can easily deal with. That's why I stick to -2, 0, and 1. Another person might pick 1, 3, 5. Okay, so now we have the two values for equation 1 and equation 2, and the next thing we want to do is to draw our graph to solve the problem. But now you need to be a little bit careful before you draw the graph. Okay, so you look at your first equation. In fact, you look at the two equations that you have, or the two values. Okay, for x, for our x, the smallest value we have is -2, then the highest is 2. Okay, so that means we don't have a lot of values here. Okay, so you have to think about this before you draw your graph. Okay, because sometimes you start drawing your graph, then you realize that you don't have space on your graph for some values. Okay, so for our x, we don't have problem because we only have -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Whereas for y, okay, look at the smallest number we have. The smallest number for y is -9. Okay, y the highest is 11. So for our y-axis, we have a lot of numbers. Okay, we have -9, -8, -7, -6, all the way to 0, 1, 2, 3, up to 11. So we have a lot of numbers for y. Okay, so that means we really need to manage our space so that all the values can fit into the graph for our y-axis. So that means for y we have 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, -2, -4, -6, -8. Okay, I think. Okay, -10. So now for the x-axis, okay, this is 0. And remember, we have just few values for x, so I can call this -1. You can see I'm skipping this place. Okay, so I'm using this for my -1s because I have a lot of space for all the values. So -1, this is -2. So here I have 1 and 2. So the next thing we are going to do is to plot the graph. Okay, so from the first equation, when x equals to -2, y is equal to 5. So this is our -2 here. So you trace on your graph -2, 5 is here for y. So we have a point here. So x equals to -2, then y equals to 5. So there's a point here. The next one, when x equals to 0, y is equal to 2. This is 0 here, then y equals to 2. So we have a point right here. And the last one, when x equals to 2, y equals to -1. This is x. Sorry, I made a mistake here. Okay, x should be here. Okay. So the last one, when x equals to 2, y equals to -1. X equals to 2, then y equals to -1. So we have the point right here. I can say this is y equals to -1 if you trace it. So the point is right here. So we need to draw the graph. Okay, so we have the line for the first equation. So we move to the next one. So for the second equation, when x equals to -2, y equals to 11. Okay, so this is x equals to -2. So you trace it up. So we have our first point here. Okay, right at the top here. Because this is 10, then this is 11. So we have it here. The second one, when x equals to 2, when x equals to 0, y is 1. So this is x equals to 0, then this is y equals to 1. This is 1 here. Okay, so we have the second point here. Then lastly, when x equals to 2, y is minus 9. This is x equals to 2, then minus 9. So you just need to calm down. So minus 9 is right here. Okay, so we have the point here. So you do the same thing. You join the three lines together. Okay, I think this is the best we can have. So now we have our two data lines representing the two equations. So what we are going to do now is to get our final answer. So you look for the point where the two lines meet, okay, and we have it here. I think this is the point where they meet. So you draw a vertical line to touch your x-axis and another horizontal line to touch the y-axis. Okay, and those two, the points where the line touches the y-axis is the value for y, while the point where the line touches the x-axis is our value for x. So let's quickly do that. So from this point, you draw a vertical line. Okay, then the same thing. Okay. So from our x-axis, okay, this is the point where we have the line, okay, and this is minus 1. So definitely this is minus 0. Sorry. So this is minus 1. So this is minus 0.5. Okay, and our point is right here. So this is like minus 0.25. Okay, so we can say our x is equal to minus 0.25. Okay, for our y, this is 2. For our y, this is 2. This is 3. This is 3 right here. Okay, so this is 2. This is 2.2. This is 2.4. Okay, so actually it's not up to this point here. It's 2.4, but what we have is not up to 2.4. If we zoom in, we can see that this line, this red line is not on 2.4. Okay, so we can just approximate. Let's call it, let's say our value is 2.38. Okay, so y equals to 2.38. So we have x to be equals to minus 0.25 and y is equal to 2.38. So that is final answer, but we can quickly cross-check by plugging in the two values here. Okay, from equation 1 we have 3x plus 2y equals to 4. So if we input x to be minus 0.23 and y to be 2.38, we should be able to get 4. Okay, that is our left hand side should be equal to right hand side. So we have, okay, bracket minus 0.25 plus 2 bracket 2.38. So this is going to give us minus 0.75 plus 4.76. Okay, so if we simplify this, minus 0.75 plus 4.76, we should have 4.01. Okay, so 4.01, our left hand side, equals to 4. So we have an error of 0.01, which is not too much. So we've come to the end of this video. If you really learned one thing or the other, please like, share and subscribe. Then let me also get your opinion in the comment section. Thank you and bye bye for now.